I've heard so many times, you need to sweat. You need to sweat in order to burn calories. You need to sweat so that you can lose fat. Like, sweating is when you lose fat. Like, any other time you don't lose fat. It's only when you sweat. This is when you burn off all the calories that you ate. So you need to sweat. It has some truth, but it's still a myth. And the best myths, they have some truth embedded in them. So what is sweating? Sweating is basically where your body is at a high temperature and therefore your body wants to cool down. It's as simple as that. Because what happens when you sweat is your body releases water, and it takes energy for water to evaporate into air, and therefore when your body is really hot, it's like basically like radiating energy. It's like a sun base. It's like a miniature sun, very, very miniature sun, but it basically radiates energy. And when your body sweats with water, the energy is going to go into the water and it's going to evaporate the water, and therefore leaving your body with less energy and therefore cooling your body off. So like I said, sweating is when your body gets hot. And your body gets plenty hot when you eat spicy things. Like, it gets very hot. Like, you eat a lot of spicy things and then you start sweating. It's like, oh my goodness. It's like, oh, like, gross. But does that mean that I'm burning a lot of calories? Like, if I was burning a lot of calories while eating spicy things, damn, I'll be eating spicy things every single day. It's like, give me that, bro. Give me that ghost pepper. Let me burn some calories from that, bro. 600 calories? Easy. Let's go. I'll take that suffering. But it doesn't mean anything. Sweating just doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're burning calories. It could in certain circumstances, but it doesn't most of the time. In the right circumstances, when you're training, sweating can be a proxy to how hard you are working, and therefore, it can be a proxy to see how many calories you're burning. You can't get the precise number, but it can be used as a comparison. During exercise, I don't sweat at all during my weight training, where I sweat very minimally, and I sweat tons when I do cardio. I mean, that kind of checks out because when you do cardio, you burn more calories than when you're in the gym doing weights. Right, so that's a correlate. But what if on separate cardio sessions I sweat more than the other? Because I've certainly had this happen, and it's where on one session where I'm actually pedaling harder, I don't sweat as much as when I'm pedaling easier, and I sweat more on that day. But the thing is, I'm burning more calories when I'm pedaling harder than the day where I'm pedaling easier. So that doesn't check out. That doesn't make sense. Because sweating is supposedly a proxy to how many calories you burn. Right? No, it's not. At least not one that's accurate. Think about the summer. When you go outside during the summer, and it's really hot, and you sweat a lot, does that mean you're burning calories? Burning calories comes from moving your body, doing things that require energy. Just stay in the sun. Does that burn calories? No. No, it doesn't. You're just sweating and being disgusting and being uncomfortable, basically, for no reason. This myth comes from the belief that you only burn fat when you're sweating, which is not true. Burning fat is an all-day process. And if it wasn't, you'd be dead, because you need to use fat when you sleep. You sleep, hopefully, for 8 hours. That time you're not eating anything. And so you're basically fasting through it. Your body still needs energy. Right? You're still breathing. Your heart's still pumping during that time, albeit slower. But you still need energy for it. And therefore, your body needs to burn fat during that entire time in order to stay alive. Otherwise, you would be dead. And, well, what's the point of sleeping then if you're just going to die? Another reason why this myth came to be is because the most hard-working athletes, they sweat a lot. But it's not because they sweat a lot that they're lean, that they are fit, that they're in shape. It's due to their physical activity, which causes the sweating, and it causes the fat loss. And so you can think of it as sweat is not a cause of fat loss, but it's a product of something else that's causing the fat loss and the sweat. So it's the physical activity that's causing you to sweat, as well as you to burn calories. So the two are correlated together, but they're not causing one another.